So it was like Scotland to Saudi to Abu Dhabi to Egypt back to Abu Dhabi. There were like public beaches left and right anywhere you go, where you could just go and have a bonfire.
Yeah.
And no one was there. Like
I missed it.
completely, yeah.
I
Completely
missed
different.
it.
That's kind of died out a little bit.
Have you ever wondered if there is a color undiscovered? Can you close your eyes and see it? Somewhere there's my lover with a number in her hand. She is waiting on an answer that she hasn't heard of yet.
Alright, freaks. The We Speak in Colors circus is in town. Currently set up in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The pace of Ramadan is still lingering. Summer has arrived, so everyone's holed up inside in the fetal position, hiding from the sun, planning their hopeful summer getaways. In 3 weeks, I'll be lifting off myself to meet my mother in Italy. We'll be starting in Milan, hitting the coast and then circling through Tuscany and end up in the Como area near the Swiss border, kind of freaking out. 15 days with Mom. Please pray for us. No, it's gonna be awesome. I've wanted to get her to Europe for a while now, and it was definitely a factor in even deciding to begin a life of international living. It's a relief that it's happening. When we're done there, I'll have about 3 weeks back in the States in Pennsylvania, bouncing between my hometown Somerset and my second hometown Pittsburgh, just about an hour and 15 up the highway. This period leading into summer is always intense. Lists within lists that somehow keep growing. It wakes you up though, knowing there's movement ahead. Traveling home when living abroad is always really tricky. Packing a lot into a small window, but it's insanely rewarding. Returning to familiar landscape, reconnecting with previous lives. Senses are heightened. Well, if you're gonna ask, for a while now, We Speak in Colors has been the name under which I write, record, and perform music. Since it started a while back, I guess 10 years ago, though I only brought it out of my bedroom in the past few years, it was always intended to be the home, kind of the base for sharing anything I produce, including videos, conversations documented either in the moment or a more pre-planned interview setting, photography, visual design, think pieces, anything I feel compelled to make and release. See it as my own personal publishing house of sorts, which feels a bit self-centric, but I gotta confront that, I guess. Similar to when I started playing music in front of people, a weight's been lifted since I started pursuing this side of things, the archiving, the documenting. See, there's a heavy agony that comes along with not doing something you feel compelled to do. So, I now present to you Chapter 1 of the audio branch of We Speak in Colors field recordings. This is a conversation with Farah Bushnaq, a peer, a friend, an important presence in the Abu Dhabi creative community. Farah is from Jordan, but as you'll hear, bounced around a lot growing up. In the midst of all the movement, Abu Dhabi Planet itself is home for her and her family. She's part of a really interesting demographic of Arab expats that grew up here but are not from here. And while each situation is unique, it's a common story. I've been lucky enough to break a bit from the automatic community of Western expats and become friends with, mainly through music, many of these people. As someone who just showed up a few years ago and stepped into this developed international hub of a city, it's really fun to be enlightened by people who've been here for decades, to hear anecdotes from a fascinating country that was only founded in the 70s. The UAE exploded from being a vast open desert with minimal infrastructure to a full-blown global metropolis in a short time. Our conversation was documented in the spring of 2018 at Manarat Al Saadiyat, a beautiful government-run art exhibition and event space on Saadiyat Island in Abu Dhabi. I hope it gives you insight into this place and in the future can continue to color in areas that were once gray. We Speak in Colors field recordings. Let's take a walk around my head.
You can count on me till infinity. That's the place where I'll always be.
Hi, Farah.
Hi, Andrew.
I met you pretty much straight away from moving here. I think it was like probably a couple weeks in when I came to the space and started bothering you. But strangely enough, so the orientation for my school was in Park Rotana, and I think I was trying to find like Wi-Fi or something, and the hotel was giving me a hard time, so I wandered over the 2454 building and just found the space, which was really strange that now, like, looking back and seeing how that was a pretty, like, I don't know, integral part of Abu Dhabi creative community. So it's kind of weird that was, like, literally the first, like, I landed at, like, midnight the night before, and then the next day at like 9 a.m. That was like the first like coffee shop or like place I just stumbled in.
I didn't know it was that soon.
Yeah, it was really strange. So then I think once I got settled in my apartment, I came back, and that's when I met you. So I'm curious, how long, that was like August 2015, how long had the space been open? And how long were you there, like before I wandered in?
It had been technically open for a year.
Okay.
But I don't think really anything was happening much until I came. No, I'm joking. But no, like it really started being a lot more publicly communicated.
Sure.
When I was on board in June. So I was just there 2 months in.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you were newish also.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
the thing is, I had already lived here like my whole life, and it wasn't necessarily new. It was just that it was finally a place where I can actually call all these people I've known.
Okay.
And we can actually do something.
Yeah.
So it's like it had been cooking in my mind forever.
Got you. What connected you there? Like your life pre me
Yes.
is pretty. I know like a few general bits, but it's a little blank.
So basically, I grew up here.
Yeah.
But I went to university in Canada. And
Okay.
I came back, so I studied film and communication, so I had no idea what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And Abu Dhabi was not very, you couldn't really say it was thriving in that industry.
Sure.
It was starting out, but they weren't very established. So I just like Googled production company Abu Dhabi and literally
That's amazing.
applied to that and got it. And I was like, great.
Where'd it come up? Just like LinkedIn?
No,
Or-
on Google.
Okay.
Not even LinkedIn. I don't think LinkedIn was even really.
You don't think it was around?
In 2011?
I think it was around.
Probably, yeah, but I probably
But
hadn't been
yeah, maybe
using
not
it.
popular.
I was
Sure.
too cool for it, yeah. So then, yeah, so I went into that, and it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Of course, like
What was
a lot
the
of it.
what was the vibe? Like who was
Very-
kind of overseeing you and telling you, kind of guiding you, or was it just like, hey, we want to do creative things here, do what you want?
You mean for the
Like,
space?
Yeah,
Yeah, so after that, like I found the space
yeah.
online as well. Oh, the internet. And then I was like, this place is so cool.
Yeah.
I literally just commented on Facebook. I was like, this is amazing. Ah, like went crazy, lots of exclamation marks.
Yeah.
And then somehow someone was like, hey, want to interview for a job? And I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay.
That's
So
cool.
that was
That
really
never
interesting.
happens.
Exactly. So from the get-go, I was like, this is exactly what I want. So it was obviously like 2454 had funded it because it's in the 2454 building.
Yeah.
But it was owned by Brown Book. It was Brown Book's concept.
That's right.
Brown Book
okay.
magazine. So the Shabi brothers had a bunch of these spaces in Dubai, and this was
Yeah.
kind of the first one in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
So they basically like threw me in, like,
Yeah.
all
Let's
right,
go.
let's make Abu Dhabi happen. And I'm just like, okay, great. I've never done this before, but I think I know what to do. So they trusted me a lot and just like let me do whatever I thought was good for Abu Dhabi since they're Dubai based, right? So slowly but surely, I just started like meeting all these new people, but also asking everyone I'd known growing up here about different things. And
Yeah.
I realized like there was a pretty large community that just had nowhere to go or to meet or to do anything
Right.
until the space. So
Yeah.
it was exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's come on. It's like podcast 101. You got to shut off your phone.
And the thing is, I always do. I always have it on vibration. I have no idea why it's on right now.
That's amazing. Yeah, I noticed that like pretty quickly. I mean, this has been a bizarre 2.5 years. I've been here 2.5 years now, and just kind of coming in and trying to see where people congregate and like get a feel for everything. It's really fascinating, and yeah, the space seemed like something that was necessary and needed.
And I love when you walked in, I think like
Sweet vibe, like
you just didn't believe
yeah,
that it was what it was. Like I remember you coming in and just like, so it's like a creative space.
yeah,
And I'm like, yeah, you're like, okay, so like stuff happens, like music and whatever, and I was like showing you, and you were like, okay, I think you just didn't believe that you found something like that so soon.
yeah,
probably,
for sure,
but
for
didn't
sure.
expect it. So it was interesting to get your reaction.
Yeah. And the cinema space with Muhammad, which I want to chat with him as well, because
Definitely.
he's like really he's a really mysterious man,
Oh my God, very.
and I don't know if it's intentional. Like, you know him better than me, I'm sure.
Yes, I think I know him the most.
Of
I-
anyone.
I have all the insight, and that's like basic knowledge of him. Do you know what I mean? Like people don't get more of a hi, how are you from him, but I've been like pushing things out of him. Like,
Yeah.
But I've never met anyone in my entire life that's more passionate about showing films to people than him.
Totally.
And it's purely voluntarily, and it's like just something that he has to do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And
He
he's
loves
continuing
movies.
it at Manar and Sadyat, so
Yeah, I've been to, I don't know, 3 or 4 here. Because, yeah, the year I came was like the first year they didn't have Abu Dhabi Film Festival. And I think it kind of
oh yeah, he
came
didn't make
from that, because he was part of the film festival, I think.
He was working there, yeah. It didn't really come from that because he did have the knowledge, and he always
Yeah.
thought that it's a great. He just needed a place again to do
Sure,
it.
yeah,
and
yeah.
the space opened at the perfect time
Okay.
when Abu Dhabi Film Festival
Died.
died, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously everyone was so sad about that, but he owns all these films too. These are his Blu-rays.
Right.
So it's not like he goes out and gets rights for films. He actually purchases these. And so he has, of course, an amazing collection.
Oh, it's insane, and you can tell. I guarantee there's no film that I could bring up that he hasn't seen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
seen
he's
it
insane.
all. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna get his details from you, and I'm gonna stalk him. Just be like, hey, I'm just gonna dig in.
No, definitely.
See what he's about.
I think you're gonna have to hide the mic though. He's gonna get really nervous.
He seems comfortable, like, I don't know. He seems really comfortable talking to people
He
and
does,
like on a
definitely.
microphone and.
But he's like shy. Like
Yeah.
he doesn't like kind of talking about himself.
Yeah.
If you told him, oh, let's speak about someone else, he'll do it for
Then
2
he'll-
hours. But about himself,
okay.
he's very like too humble almost.
Sure. Yeah. He's super humble. So yeah, what I noticed right away about you, and what's interesting so I came in as a very typical kind of Western expat. You know what I mean? Like I'm teaching English. I live on Reem, which there's like so many of us, so many teachers, so many nurses, like people that have had no connection to here prior to moving. But what was cool about meeting you is that there's this whole crew here. You guys are like a clan of
People who grew up here, basically.
yeah,
Basically.
Arabs that grew up here but are not Emirati.
Exactly.
And that's super fascinating to me. I am endlessly curious about it because it's like the Awads
Yes.
and John and George Haddad and like so many Lebanese and Syrian
and
and
there's so many more you don't
Jordanians.
even
Oh yeah,
know,
I
so
don't.
it's massive.
I've
yeah.
barely scratched the surface. Palestinians, who their parents, people our age-ish,
Exactly.
their parents moved here for jobs. I think
Exactly.
is like the general story that I've gathered, and then they had kids here. So, were you born here? When did you move here?
No, I
What
wasn't born here.
Okay.
I lived here most of my life, but no, I wasn't. I came maybe when I was like in second grade.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Second grade, and then moved to Egypt in seventh grade,
Really?
and then came back here in 10th grade, and ever since then, I've been
Wow.
here. Yeah, so I moved a lot because my dad was in oil and gas business. So it was like Scotland to Saudi to Abu Dhabi to Egypt back to Abu Dhabi. Now he's in Singapore.
Wow.
So yeah, he moves around a lot, but Abu Dhabi is the large portion of my life for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is this like kind of home base for your family? Like your dad
Definitely.
comes back here.
Yeah, this
Okay.
and Jordan, where I'm from.
Right.
So Jordan is where my mom's living right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's like, okay, I'm not moving to Singapore. I'm not moving again. Like I'm going
Yeah.
back home. You do
Gotcha.
Singapore, and then she moved out there. So now it's just me and my sister living here. But the
Wow.
funny thing is, my
in
mom.
like your in the house, you got like it all to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
That's sick.
And then my mom was like, okay, so now we're gonna go back home to Jordan.
Hmm.
And me and my sister are like, home? It's Abu Dhabi. It's
Wow.
not Jordan. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what do you mean? And it was something funny happened where she was trying to convince us to get a job in Jordan and move out there with her. And my sister goes, why should I move to a foreign country?
Oh man.
And my mom's like, oh my God, do you realize what you just said?
Yeah.
Like, this is the foreign country to Jordan is your home.
Yeah. Exactly. It's so complicated. Like how much time? Okay, so
'Cause you can't get a
here in
citizenship
second grade.
here.
So you're right here. You
Yeah.
can't get a citizenship, right?
That's the main, thing.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, okay. So was Jordan? Were you ever actually
Like a
in
year.
your conscious, as a conscious being, like lived in Jordan?
Never.
Okay.
Never. But a lot of like long summer visits
Totally,
and
yeah.
all that. Yeah.
Okay, so you would roll back in the summers. But when you came here in second grade, do you remember it? Or was it just like, oh, I'm going to a new school? Like you went to a bunch of new schools, it sounds like.
That's true.
Were
Yeah. I
you-
was like, oh, next. Yeah. No, but
Were you good at it? Like, could you just kind of go in and be like, okay? Or were you scared? Or
No, I think I was the kind that was really like a bit too social. Maybe I was
Yeah.
annoying. Like, hey, what's your name? I'm new. I came from Saudi, so let's hang out. Well, like not shy at all. Like very very loud, very outgoing. So it was, and I came in the second semester of the year too. So it wasn't like there
Middle
were
of
new
the
people
year.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, everyone knew I'm this
Wow.
annoying new girl. But it was so easy. It was so easy, and like the community, especially at ACS American Community School.
oh, that's where you went.
So
Okay.
good.
Nice.
So good. Like they stick together. There are so many like events. The parents all end up being like the best of friends. So like it's so easy
Nice.
to build this kind of community, and everyone's
Yeah.
so friendly. So yeah, from then on, like the same people I was in second grade with, I know today very well. Still.
Wow.
And they're still here. So it's really
So a lot of people have stuck around. At that school, was it a whole mix of like American expat kids, Arabs? Like, what was?
It was, yeah, a mix of both. I would
Okay.
say 50-50 actually, at that time. Now it's more Arab expats than Americans, I'd say.
Okay.
But in my time, it was really 50-50 because the oil and gas business was booming, and there were a lot of
Sure.
like Americans coming
Huh.
in, and so they would, and the school is connected to the embassy, so
Oh,
it would be a bunch of Americans. Yeah.
wow. So you were in like.
That's why I
that
have this
world.
accent and I don't know Arabic very well. Basically.
What do you speak with your parents? Like, do you speak Arabic with them, or
I
is it
think
like
they
the
tried.
standard mix, like,
They
you know,
tried to
bouncing
speak
between?
Arabic, and I think we would always respond in English anyways.
Wow.
And in a way, it was like we kind of perfected their English. So then we just became an English communicated household. That's it. Like, I think.
Wow.
And then they realized they're like, oh no, like they don't know Arabic. So then they started bringing in tutors and trying to like fix that, but no, it didn't work.
Just rejected it.
I know a little
Wow.
bit, but no, I would never say that I can comfortably like do this right now in Arabic, for example.
Really,
Yeah.
like express and, but you can, if you're in a room and there's people speaking Arabic, you can understand generally like
Yeah.
what they're saying.
Yeah. I can
Okay.
understand.
But then communicating with it. Interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of people are like that grew up here,
Yeah.
especially that went to the international schools. So we have that in common.
Yeah, that's
lot.
another fascinating thing, and I'm seeing kids that are in my school, and it really bums me out because they have like half their day in English, half the day in Arabic, and they it's like instead of the goal was to make them bilingual, fluent in both, but the reality has not been that. It's made them almost not fluent in
Not
either.
lingual.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's true.
it's really
You have to choose one, I think.
yeah.
You have
I'm
to.
sad for them that their home, their native
Yeah.
language, they struggle with it. A lot of them
That's very
can't
true.
read or write.
But also,
Well-
you have to think about it in terms of the future and business and where they're going to be able to thrive.
Yeah.
And I think English is the most important right now.
Yeah, it is.
Knowing Arabic is definitely an asset. You know what I mean? It's an asset to know Arabic, but generally speaking, English and because we're in like a completely globalized world, and
Yeah.
that is the common language. So,
Yeah.
So I think that's why my parents also at one point were like, okay, you know what, just let's go with English.
Sure, sure.
We'll deal with this later.
Huh. Is there anyone I know here that you went to school with? Like Lynn, do you
Lynn.
know her? Okay, so you know her from school.
Yeah, Lynn was
Gotcha.
a year younger. So she was in my sister's grade actually.
Okay.
But yeah, she came in like middle school, I think. So we've known her for a while. But also
Nice.
Mira, I think you met her, no?
Mira.
She's come to some of the end small talks. She's been with me since like middle school till now.
Wow.
So crazy.
Yeah.
But I still know people from second grade. I know people who were in that school from KG until, so like
Huh.
yeah, definitely been. Some people had been there their whole lives
Yeah.
basically. But yeah, no one else, But I know Christina and Tanya
Did you know them from before?
from school. So what would happen is like you'd have ACS, you'd have AIS, you'd have Shuifat, you'd have
Yeah.
all these different schools, but we'd go to the same places because Abu Dhabi had literally 3 places maybe.
Yeah.
It was even smaller.
Like to
than,
hang out.
Yeah.
As a high school, where I heard Tourist Club used
Tourist
to be
Club.
like a spot.
Everything. Yeah.
Where would people hang out? Malls or the Corniche?
The malls, the malls in like elementary, middle school, and then when it came to high school, it was a lot of like, yeah, we're 21, but
Right.
like trying to get into places. But it was so
I
much
see, I
easier
see, I
before too. There was this really
I've heard some stories.
dingy
yeah.
bar called Cellar
Cellar.
in Tourist Club
Where was
area.
that?
Oh gosh, like tiny, but because they never ID'd.
Yeah.
Everyone would go there, and it was super sketchy, like the sketchiest places. So basically, it was a bunch of these people the same age,
Yeah.
trying to find good places in Abu Dhabi to go out,
Right.
and always bumping into each other. So we're bound to have this like connection.
Okay.
So we've kind of seen Abu Dhabi transform together as well.
Yeah.
So there's like this shared experience between that generation, which is amazing, I think.
You guys are like the last. I wasn't here, of course, so this is purely
I feel like
from
you
my
were.
uninformed opinion. But it seems like you guys were the last generation to kind of get Abu Dhabi before this thing that it is now. So you've seen like both sides.
Exactly.
Like you were still like you were in middle school pre iPhone
Yes.
and pre some of the huge buildings and like
Definitely. Bainuna
Uh-huh.
Tower was the tallest building.
crazy.
That
wow.
was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And the Corniche was completely different. It didn't have any food or stalls or anything.
Oh, really?
And there were like public beaches left and right anywhere you go, where you could just
Wow.
go and have a bonfire.
Yeah.
And no one was there.
yeah.
Like
I missed
it's
it.
completely completely
missed
different.
it.
I wish I can like what do you call that?
Transport?
Tra-
Teleport.
Transform. Teleport. That's the one.
Teleport.
Teleport back to that time.
Yeah.
And like bring people with me that haven't seen it,
Totally.
and then come back to now because I like it now too.
What from then, like, I don't know, so we have the cellar. Like, so you'd hang out at the Corniche.
Yeah, the beaches, the public beaches. Subway was really popular. And
Oh
then
my God.
There was this in Khadia area, right? And then there was this like shisha place behind Subway.
Okay.
So we would like
In
maybe-
Khalidiyah?
Yeah, we'd tell
Okay.
our parents we're going to Subway, which we would go to Subway, and then
Yeah.
and then after that we'd go behind Subway where there's this shisha place that's in this random building, where basically there are rooms where you can like close the door and just hang out with your friends and
yeah,
smoke
yeah.
shisha.
That's amazing
And
as
I
a
don't
high
think any-
schooler.
yeah, and I don't think
Wow.
any of the parents would want to know that we were there, but it was awesome. It was awesome because
cool.
yeah, we'd all just, and that's where all the schools would meet as well. It was called La Casa. I
La
think.
Casa.
La Casa. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Spanish.
Exactly.
It's like
Had nothing to do with it. Decoration wise, all of the food, the shisha, but you know,
La Casa.
La Casa.
Nice. Yeah, I really wish I would have seen that period. And not that it's. So I actually applied to a teaching position in the Western region for next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow. You
It-
want to?
I think so.
And
And
why?
kind of coming from this, like I want to so after this year, I've got like 2 more max here, like maybe 1 more, maybe 2, and then it's
Moving on.
gonna be the next thing. And I kind of like, I want to see that side of the country.
Okay.
Because
I
I've met
see.
some people that worked out there, and you just get a different view. It's like going back,
Yeah.
maybe 20, like Medinat Zayed is like the biggest, it's like the capital of the Western region.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like going back 25
To
years.
the past. I
You know.
actually want to do this.
Yeah, so I'm, who knows if I'll get it or if it'll actually happen, but I want to,
Experience that.
yeah, I want to feel, Reem is like very isolating. I'm in a high tower, no balcony, can't open a window. It's like this strange sterile box.
I
Like,
could never.
I just want to wake up and like make a coffee and go sit on the,
That's
I'm
true.
so disconnected from,
I mean, there
from
are a lot of
outside.
places in Abu Dhabi like that.
Totally.
let you
But
know
the
about
problem
that.
is, like, my company put me in housing and we can't,
Oh.
it's not negotiable.
Okay.
Because it's through them. We
Yes.
didn't get like a stipend and then we could choose.
Mm.
Which, if we got that, I would totally stay and then just live somewhere on the ground.
Exactly.
And I think it would completely change my perspective and experience.
Wow, that's funny how that makes such a big difference.
It's made a huge difference.
What
in,
about?
like-
Did you ever think of Adain?
Yes. I don't know why. Sometimes I just get like a thing in my head, and then I like have to
Do it.
do it. And for whatever reason,
That's a good thing.
like the West just got in my head. I met some women at a campfire thing that had taught out there, and got transferred to Abu Dhabi. And they're like, "Yo, we miss the West."
Wow,
Like,
really?
yeah, because they were like, we were always in Emiratis' homes all the time, almost every day, for dinner and like all of
Wow.
these things. They were like, it's totally different. This was like, Medinat Zayed is like a city for the West.
Okay.
There's spots that are like West, like
Liwa.
nothing around. Liwa, Ruwais.
Dorian teaches in Liwa. Rooftop rhythms guy.
He's a teacher?
He's a teacher.
Still?
Yeah.
I knew he came as a teacher.
No, he still is.
In Liwa?
Mm-hmm.
How's he here so much?
Yeah, I know.
Are you sure?
He comes a lot. Yeah, I'm positive.
I don't think so.
I'm positive. He just had an event, and he was telling me that he came from Liwa. Well, he's thinking of like stopping, like teaching because it's really tiring to be out there. And
Is he in like a Emirati school or a private school?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Wow.
But yeah, you can definitely speak to him and see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I thought he like taught for a few years and then went full time into his. That's insane.
The
He drives
poetry
in
thing?
here
No.
that much?
Mhm. Dubai, Sharjah, here.
Wow.
I think he lives in Sharjah
Huh.
and then goes to
Wait,
Liwa.
he lives in. That's
Wait, that
impossible.
doesn't make sense. No. Stop. X.
This is your.
Wait.
Yeah, he lives in Muscat and then like commutes to Liwa every day, and then like.
No, but he doesn't live in Liwa. He lives somewhere else.
Okay.
Yeah. Not maybe
Fair.
not Sharjah. I think it's just because I think of Sharjah as like the closest to kind of back in time.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, Ajman is even.
Ajman, yeah.
Have you been?
heard. I've driven through to get to Ras Al Khaimah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh,
but
Ras Al
never
Khaimah's
stopped.
That's
and
another thing.
That's another
Oh,
spot.
Ras
Yeah.
Al Khaimah's
So
amazing.
have you hit most of the?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so
Well,
many places to travel around this country
That's
that I'm ashamed at how little I've seen because I still haven't gone to Fujairah. Have you been there?
I have. I've gone to Snoopy Island.
What is that?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Snoopy Island.
I heard that it closed, but I hope that's not true. But basically, it's this beach side where you can camp,
Yeah.
and the water. It's like an open sea, and
Okay.
it's beautiful, so serene. And there are these like mountainous regions surrounding it as well.
Yeah.
At the same time. So
Dang.
it's beautiful. There are so many camping spots in specifically that I still even haven't explored all of them, but there are so many.
There's
crazy.
endless.
Yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah.
literally endless camping spots here, and I've only been like twice. We did New Year's out in the desert.
In the
and,
desert.
like,
The
it
desert's
was
the easiest.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Um,
you can just go out, like it's a 45-minute drive, you know?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think, the desert, camping in the desert is just part of the culture. Like if you haven't,
Totally.
then you haven't really lived here.
You
know?
have, yeah.
So-
It's true.
Everyone knows, like what to do, what to bring. It's become such a part of like
Yeah,
normalcy here,
for sure.
you know? But I have not been to Sharjah, actually, which is crazy.
How?
Yeah.
You've never been to Sharjah Art
No.
Foundation?
Everyone's like, how do you work in the art and culture industry? You've never been to Sharjah. I just have to do it one day. I have to hit all the spots.
Yeah, just cruise up. I did it last year. Tulip actually gave me like she's lived in Sharjah. She's kind of bounced around a bit too, but mainly grew up in Sharjah.
Oh, okay.
So I like saw some of the spots.
What do you think?
It's cool. Yeah, it's you're going back in time a little bit.
Abu Dhabi's your favorite, though, right?
Of course. No, it's like. I mean, it is like here. Like my favorite thing to do is like 6 p.m. Get out and just cruise around. Like that hour when the sun's setting here is
Yes.
unbelievable.
That's so true.
Like the skies here are amazing, and it doesn't get old.
That's so true. That's my
yeah.
favorite thing, too.
It's
I
incredible.
have to be outside from 5 to 7. I just have to.
And that's what I want. I want to be able to like get out. I want to have a balcony or a patio and
You
just
need
sit out.
No, you definitely need to. I think, yeah, it's so important.
One thing that fascinates me about here is like the how do I explain it? Like it's almost like every nationality has its own economy. You know what I mean?
I never looked at it that way.
It's wild. It's wild coming from outside
perspective.
and seeing it. And so you have like the Indian cafeteria world, and then there's like the Filipino world and all this stuff. So there's like endless restaurants. If you're willing, most Westerners get funneled into, going to specific restaurants. You know what I mean? Like a certain level.
That's
But
true.
if you're willing to kind of break the
That's so true.
to
And
like
I've always
cross,
said that.
yeah.
There are so many that people don't want to explore because it's like, oh yeah, that's not where we go. Like we go to
Totally.
like hotel restaurants
Exactly.
or the ones that are well known that are coming in from Dubai. But
Yeah.
I did this thing where I spent like the entire day just exploring all these other restaurants.
Nice. What'd you
Um,
find, or where?
There's so many.
How were you?
I was just.
What was
I
guiding
started
you?
at Medina Zayed, and
Yeah.
then just went left and right with a friend who was
That's
visiting.
a perfect area
Yeah.
to start in. Like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, you can literally eat anything.
Yeah. So were you just going in spots like that?
Yeah.
Or?
Basically checking out the food, tasting if they offer, because a lot of them are so sweet and they just like offer. And I just realized that, and I learned a lot actually from my cousin who went to New York University, Abu Dhabi,
Okay.
and graduated from there earlier this year. Or, sorry, it's not this year, obviously.
Yeah,
It's 2018.
last- yeah.
Year. But I was shocked to find out that them as students, like
Yeah.
the student life, obviously they can't go to like hotels every day and
Right.
eat and lounge around.
Yeah.
So they have to find these spots.
Gotcha.
And she told me most of them.
Nice.
And I was shocked at the fact that they do that, first of all.
Yeah.
And that the food is so good and that there's so many. I think, yeah, people need to go out there more.
Definitely. One thing I notice here too is Friday, like you're with your family.
Yes.
Like if you're Arab, you are like hanging out with your family.
Yes.
You know what I
Friday
mean?
is family day.
So did you guys have any go-to spots? Were you doing like grill outs?
Yes, a lot of grill outs. Definitely in the parks. Back in the day, we just choose a spot, All the families were
all
out
the
there.
families.
Yes.
I love seeing
Yes.
it. Like down by Third Place.
Exactly.
There's like those strips of grass.
Or Khadia
it's
Park.
so sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of died out a little bit. It used to be massive amounts, but
Really?
now it's just like a few spots here and there.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
man.
But we love Abu Tafish. Have you heard of this?
What is it?
Butafish?
Butafish. No.
Oh my God, it's such a crazy story. Okay, so basically,
Butafish. Where is that at?
it's now in Batin.
Bateen, okay. That's my favorite neighborhood in the city, by
Yes,
the way.
me too.
Bateen is like, I would live there in a second. I think I'm a little priced out, but...
I know, but there are little spots here and there.
Yeah,
You'll be
I'm sure.
shocked. Like, I know a lot of friends who live out there.
Nice.
And it's like really good cost. So yeah, this guy, Abu Tafish, okay?
Yeah.
So...
Is it Boo or Abu?
Abu.
Oh, Abu, okay.
It's Abu, but I think they shortened
say
it and they say
Boo.
Boo Tafish. So
Okay.
he had a little shop on the Corniche
Yeah.
where he'd fish and then like sell it like
Yeah.
fresh fish, kind of like the fish market in Mina.
Wow.
But like nobody was really coming much. And then Sheikh Zayed saw him. He was in his car, and then he told the driver to stop, walked out, went to him, tried his fish, and said it was
So
amazing.
did he grill it? He had a grill and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
there
yeah.
too.
It was like a
Oh,
live
okay.
station.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
Sheikh Zayed was like, asked him a bunch of questions, like how often do you do this? And then Butafish was telling him how he woke up early in the mornings and like basically so much effort was going into it.
Yeah.
And then Sheikh Zayed was like, but yeah, Butafish was like, nobody comes, nobody cares. And that's how the name Tafish came, because Taf means like ignore
Oh, really?
in like the Emirati slang. So if
Tough. Ignore.
yeah, so if no one's like, if you're trying to say, hey guys, like I got a new song,
Yeah.
and nobody cared,
Tough.
which would never happen.
Yeah,
you would be
definitely
like,
not.
oh, tough, like they're toffing me. So he then started calling this guy Butafish. So he's like, okay, Butafish, you know what? I'm gonna build you a store. And
Wow.
and if you can make it happen,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna help you and invest in it. So
That's wild.
yeah, so he built him actually a dhow on the sea, on the ocean. So like a dine-in dhow where people
this
could come
open?
in. Yeah.
It's still open?
Well, no, it's not. It's not anymore. It's not anymore. Yeah, it's not anymore. But we used to go there with the
Wow.
ACS, with the school.
That's
we used to go
so
there.
sweet.
Yeah, and now, of course, he's a lot more popular, and he has like legit restaurants.
Oh,
in
okay, so
Batin,
he's
in
still
Tourist
alive
Club.
and like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Are they
They're not
called
still alive.
Butafish or?
Yeah, Butafish. You have to try it. It's amazing fish.
Wow.
Amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
cool. All right, that's gonna be next on my list. I've found some pretty good spots. Have you been to Maskouf?
Maskouf.
It's near Amal Emirate Park. It's like that area.
Okay.
What is that neighborhood called?
The Shweifat area.
Yeah, it's by Shweifat.
But we would call it not airport road, really. Yeah, kind of around airport
Ish,
road.
yeah.
ish.
Okay. Yeah, there's some killer restaurants over there.
Really?
A Nepali spot that's so
wow.
good. Laziz. There's a spot called Laziz. Super cheap. Amazing food.
Amazing.
Like
You know-
Nepali cafeteria kind of thing.
I love that.
It's awesome.
You know, no one's ever like fully put a list together or anything.
I know that's
You
what this
should.
is gonna be part of it. Like when
Amazing.
taking pictures of these little spots I go to, and so, but yeah, it's not like, maybe there is, but I haven't seen a site or blog that is like
No.
Abu Dhabi restaurants. It's not like the
Your
hotel
typical,
spots and
yeah.
you know, because you
Like
get
TripAdvisor's not going to put any of these, for
Ex-
example. Yeah.
Totally. And you literally can't find them unless you just see it and walk in, or someone
Exactly.
tells you,
Tells you about
because
it.
if you Google like best blah 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 restaurant, it will never
No.
come up because it's
Oh, no,
not
no,
in
no,
a hotel or
I think if you like search best local Indian, and then you'll get it.
Sure.
But you really
yeah.
have to.
Yeah,
search.
even then, it's hard. I'm curious. I'm not going to keep you all day. Also, I just came to my first end small talk,
Finally.
which is really happy about it. Also a little ashamed that it took that long, because you started it when it was after I came. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
Yes, definitely after.
It was
yeah,
after
yeah.
you and Lynn, and it seems like you've built a little team around it now,
Yeah,
like people
definitely.
helping out, like
Yes.
Shami and
Which they offer all the time, yeah, which is amazing.
They're just like
Super helpful.
omnipresent.
Right?
Like Shami and Adil
Little elves.
are just everywhere.
Yeah.
Like they're with the Blank Canvas crew. They're like
Exactly. I love that, and they work from their heart, really. Like
for sure.
they don't have to.
What was the first event, and like what was the period that led up to the first event?
So it started in May 2016.
Okay.
I remember it was like
First year.
May 6th at 6. We were so excited about that. We were like, that's so cool. People are going to come because it's May 6th at 6. First, like how it started basically is we were just like going out with our friends a lot, and nobody was really discussing anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know. And these were our friends, like people we choose to hang out with. And we knew we chose them for good reasons.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was very strange. I think everyone just, from work and just that lifestyle, they were just typically talking about work and weather and networking. And so we were just like really tired of it, me and Lynn. And it was a joke. So I was like, imagine we put up posters and we walk around Abu Dhabi like, and small talk. And she was like, ha ha, that's hilarious. And then we talked to someone that was at the space.
Yeah.
And everyone would just hang out there, so you could just.
It was you.
bounce
You were
people's
running
ideas
it.
off.
Who'd you have to talk to?
No, I was telling someone about that. Like, and he was a journalist at the National. And I
Yeah.
was-
What's his name?
Faisal Aliakhai.
Yeah. Is he still around? I haven't seen
he
him.
moved to London.
Oh dang.
Sad. But yeah, so I was like, Faisal, guess what we were talking about outside?
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. And he was like, all right, why don't you just do an event then?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, what do you mean? And he was like, Farah, you have the space. It's yours. Create an event where people don't have to have small talk. And then me and Lynn just looked at each other like, yes!
We're doing
And
it.
that's it. We did it. And, okay, honestly, we thought like maybe 2 people would come.
Yeah.
We were like, this is going to be really weird.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just really weird people coming in, and it's not going to work, and blah, blah, blah. But anyways, we put all our effort into it, and the first event had 30 people
Nice.
coming in, and not just coming in and having these conversations, but literally thanking us from the bottom of their hearts, like, thank you. I have not had a conversation like this in like the past month.
Wow.
Finally, something where I don't have to have an agenda at work, you know.
Right.
And then like something like, it's so hard to meet people in Abu Dhabi, which is very true.
It's true.
And this is like such a good, please do it again. When is the next one? We hadn't even thought of when the next one was.
Yeah.
Or that we thought it was a one-off. So after that, we were like, okay, that's it. It's a monthly thing.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been growing, and new people, but also same people from the first one. So
Sure.
it's just amazing.
Yeah, the last one was brilliant out in the garden here at we're at Manarat Al Sadiyat. An art space, gallery, venue, cafe,
Community,
movie
space,
theater,
cultural.
government overseen,
yeah.
owned. It was awesome. I like met a bunch of cool people.
Oh, good.
Had the questions were good. How do you like
Come up
do
with
you have like a bank? I'm sure you can find stuff online too
Yeah.
to like help.
So
and-
it's a bit of both. So
well, just
we-
break
we
down
create-
what an event looks like.
Okay.
Like what is like start to finish when you walk in the door to
You
an end
walk
small
in.
talk event. What happens?
So you walk in and you're greeted by 2 lovely people. So basically you have these name tags that you have to fill in, but
Yeah.
you don't write your name. You describe yourself in one hashtag.
Right.
So it could be anything from creative to I'm so hungry right now. It really doesn't
Yeah, just
matter.
anything. Yeah.
So it's you for the evening.
Yeah.
And then you go in and you'll find these conversation starters either like hung around the venue or in bowls.
Yeah.
Basically separated on different tables and different seating areas. So you just pick one up and you'll see that it's always a question. So you'll go up to a stranger and ask that question. And then that's how the conversation starts. So they're all conversation starters that range from topics about like humanity to society, but we stay away from politics and religion.
That's like one conversation
Could.
when I picked one up could have very well
really?
gone to like could have gone down a political road, and I put it back in. I said we're not.
No way. You actually put it back in.
I didn't want to. I just didn't even want
which one that
to
is.
go. I can't remember. It wasn't a bad question. It was a good question.
But it could
And
go.
I think other people wanted to like do it, but I was just like, no.
Good call. Thank you.
I just didn't want to. I was having such a good time
Yeah.
connecting with people. I didn't want to like sour it.
That's true. Which is good because it is up to you to control it. It's not like you when you pick up a question, you have to answer this question. And you don't even have to choose a question. Like if you already have a topic you want to discuss with someone, you could.
Yeah.
So it's really just about creating that environment for people to have conversations that they don't usually have otherwise.
Yeah.
And understanding that that's what this is about. That's all they really need to go, you know?
Yeah.
So then mini group discussions start to form. We try and like after 20 minutes ring a bell so that people could move around so they're not stuck with the same people
crew,
or choose their friends to sit with.
Right.
And that goes on for an hour and a half. And then that's when the group discussion starts where it's basically a different theme every single time.
Right.
So we've talked about so many things like the blue pill, red pill, which is quite political when I think about it now.
Yeah.
In the Matrix.
Okay.
Which one would you be?
Yeah.
Lord of the Flies type of question. Technology, love, happiness, pursuing your passion. Just everything and anything you can think of. So the group discussion is really a place where people can just shoot their opinions out.
Someone's
maybe
kind
a
of
little bit of a
leading,
debate.
guiding
Yes,
the
there's always
thing.
a moderator
Yeah.
who was Faisal Aliakari, but now we don't have one. So now it's like more speakers.
Yes. Yeah.
Kind of thing. But we want to try and find a permanent
Consistent
moderator
one.
because it's more, it seems more consistent. Yeah. But having speakers is cool to add more to the topic, but to actually have that group discussion, I think a moderator is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. And then we've done it in Abu Dhabi, we've done it in Dubai. And then we've had people from different cities around the world find it and be like, can we do it in our... So
like kind of take the idea.
Exactly. So someone did it in San Francisco, we don't even know her.
Whoa.
In like a gallery, and it went really well.
Did you charge him like licensing fees?
No.
1,000 dirhams.
I mean, Lynn is a lot more business-minded, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, no, please
Yeah.
don't ever bring money into this because everything will change.
Right.
And she's like, Farah, but like, we should probably think about it, trademarking it or something. I'm just like, never.
What's your, like, okay, so it seems like now you have a consistent following with it. Anybody in our realm of Abu Dhabi knows about it. Is there a plan, or is the plan the next event? Like, let's just keep putting on events like this. We like where we're at. Because it seems like there's a lot of these things that start up here in the UAE in general, and they get a little following, and then they realize, oh, we could
Do something.
how can we monetize this?
Yeah.
Or like, do you have any kind of plan like that? Or are you happy with
Well-
what it is now?
I'm sure Lynn has a plan.
Yeah.
Like brewing
Yeah.
on the side. No, but definitely it's possible because we've had a lot of like health authority and companies that want to use and small talk either for team building or to push a message through.
Right.
So I think slowly people are realizing that it could be used in that way. It's kind of like you can think of it as a focus group in a way.
Sure.
You know, like imagine the company just like obviously not to test a product, but want some like opinion about something, and then we create these conversations for them that lead to an outcome where we understand how people feel about a certain thing,
Yeah.
we could then give that to them as a report, or they could use it as, again, like networking or team building. Like NYU called us in to do an Ed Small Talk for the freshman year coming in, so they get to know each other
Mashallah.
better.
Mashallah.
Yeah,
That's cool. There's so many.
yeah, different ways to do it.
Yeah. So has it been like surprising? I mean, I'm sure with every one of these calls, you're like a little like, oh, whoa,
Yeah.
surprised, like pleasantly.
Definitely. I was surprised at how many calls we were getting, but also how many interviews in newspapers, and we covered every single magazine and newspaper in the UAE almost. Like to
Wow.
the point where now like they can't. We were not expecting any calls because we've done it all, because they were
I
all
see.
intrigued by the initiative.
Yeah.
So, like if you Google and Small Talk, you'll see it across all these different platforms in the UAE
Yeah.
and the Gulf News and.
Well, now you're on the most important platform, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna edit that out for sure. Although I said, Matt, my friend Matt.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like kind of my like personal tech assistant, and he's like, dude, you gotta like edit these. Like all podcasts are like edited. Like the in between time, anything, that you make them really concise. And I was like, no, dude, like I don't want to edit them.
Yeah.
One, maybe it's like a little bit of like selfishness. I don't want to like sit there and edit. Like I don't want this to be
It's hard. Yeah.
a weight. I want it. And he's just like, dude, nobody's gonna listen.
Because it's too like.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
but-
I mean, because if it was something where you have a set of questions that you need answered, then yeah, of course you have to edit it out.
Sure, some podcasts. I don't want to use that word. Are geared podcasts are like geared differently, that they're really concise, and like all of
Yeah.
NPR's podcasts are really well done and written out
Oh.
before, and that's cool. Maybe I could do that for some, but anyways,
No, I like this way.
how has the transition into here been going? How are you feeling?
Wow,
Are
like-
you feeling good?
It's crazy.
Still getting your bearings?
Not really. I mean, I was shocked that I got this in the end,
Yeah.
but I think they realized that basically when the space kind of closed down, there was still that need and hunger for that type of platform.
Sure.
So I'm so happy that the Department of Tourism and Culture decided to use Manat Sadiyat for that.
Totally.
And because it's such a huge venue, we're in it now, like
Yeah.
massive, and there's so many opportunities to use it as a cultural community center, when before it was just government owned and only a few events a year would take place there, and that's it.
Right.
So as soon as I got the job, I was of course super excited, but also kind of afraid that because it's government owned, that it might be more
Yeah.
limiting, or
Sure.
they just wanted to do very serious events and didn't really want to give opportunities to everyone.
Yeah.
But it's the opposite.
Cool.
It's the opposite. Like everyone from the chairman to my boss here
Yeah.
want new creative ideas and an opportunity for everyone
Wow.
to be involved, and thank God, because Abu Dhabi really, really needs it. So
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to be with the team that's going to start that at Manana,
Sweet.
because down the line it's really going to be something big for Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to come back here in 10 years for a
Exactly.
visit and see I feel like I came, and everybody who comes will say this wherever you move. Oh, I came at a really interesting time, but I feel like I did get here at a really interesting shift.
You did. Especially with the arts and culture scene, by the way.
Exactly,
It
like with
wasn't-
NYU and Saudi at the
Exactly.
Louvre and Manarat and
Growing up here, it was never a concern from the government.
yeah,
There wasn't even, I
Just
think,
wasn't-
a cultural, nothing.
huh.
Except the Cultural Foundation, which...
Is that what does Warehouse 421?
No.
Or that's something different?
Oh, this is something else. So Cultural Foundation, it's where Qasr Hassan is. So
Ah,
that's
yeah.
where when we were younger.
That's an
like,
amazing space. By
all
the
the
way. I
music
love that.
lessons and all that, everything was taking place there. It's a very nostalgic place. So it's been closed down for years, but they're
Yeah.
reopening it.
Cool.
So that's gonna be something else.
Oh, is that because there's the Qasr Al Hassan Museum, and then I saw them like doing work on.
Exactly.
So that's a separate
It's
thing.
gonna be massive. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, yeah, you're exactly there with the shift of from basically not no arts and culture, but just no kind of investment in the arts
yeah,
and
yeah.
culture scene to now that's everything with the Louvre opening, with the shift was exactly when you came.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it's wild. There's a lot happening. There's a lot of money you can see being invested. Yeah, it's a good time to be here if you are in this world, and like it's so sick that you're working here.
I know.
Well deserved, and
Thanks.
it's yeah, it's cool. Thank you for coming on to I'm Not
Thank
Hollow.
you for having me.
Yeah, you're a very important part of Abu Dhabi, so happy to speak with you.
As are you. You should do a podcast with yourself. That's
Just
what I
talk
think.
to Rise. No, I've thought of that. Like sometimes I want some of them to just be me rambling.
Because I just want to say, Andrew, thank you for you play really good music, and easily you could have been like, okay, this isn't like really my crowd, or like, you know, I'll just continue this on my own when I go back to the States
Yeah.
eventually. But you're like willing to kind of perform anywhere, any opportunity that's given to you.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not even about you, it's also about the people and building that community of music and arts and culture.
Yeah.
But also not moving to Dubai is great.
Yeah.
Because
Would
everyone
would never.
thank you. Because everyone, who's just kind of not makes it, but has something, just goes to Dubai because
Sure.
it's already built there, and not
Sure.
realizing that when you stay, that's helping where
Exactly.
you are now.
Exactly.
So thanks for that.
We're all part of it. Of course, of course. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yallah.
I'm just a son, someone,